Welcome. Welcome to my world. Had some questions. They saw a video of my trains and they said if they were mine. Well, they are mine and I made it all. So I'm going to explain to you why I did it and how I did it and the reasoning behind all this. So I built it in 3 sections basically. This is a separate section over here. Then I did the center. I have another layout down below, which is the western. And then I have this section over here. Room is only 10 by 13. So my dilemma was always, how much train can I get in this small room? You got to remember, this is the largest scale trains you can get. They're called G scale, the large scale. They're not HO, and they're not the Super Z, the little miniature ones that you can barely see. And as we get older, you know, our eyesight isn't the best. So this is a lot easier to be working with. But you need the room. You know, you're limited to how much space you have. And that'll dictate what kind of layout you have. So I squeezed a lot in here. I thought it was in planning stages, drew it a couple of diagrams, measured and this and that. Then I came up with the idea of having multi levels per se. That way I could have various trains running at all times and at different heights. So down below we have one loop down below, which is my western theme. And then you can see I have the cable cars. And a lot of my friends that will know, that'll see some of this, will know what I'm talking about and where we come from, because the cable cars were our daily lives. And I represent them by the Powell and Mason, and of course I got the Hyde Street train also is here. Mason is where I grew up in San Francisco, so a lot of this is from the neighborhood. Buildings that you'll see here were built by me from various areas and that we visited all through our lives. The theater, the bakery, the music, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So it was labor of love. Took me almost, I guess, close to 3 years to get it almost where I wanted it. Tweaked it a lot, and I guess after 5 years I got it exactly how I wanted it. And then of course we got hit with the earthquake, and after the earthquake it broke that bridge and destroyed some of the other scenery, which I readjusted, started all over and fixed it all back up, which was no big deal. So from here I'll point out some intricate little areas that I have and some buildings. And also what takes time too is everything has lights in it, so we can control all the building lights. We'll have them all come to life for you. And we have various lights at every building. And we need to turn, we have things we turn on like that, and then they all come on. Okay, I think we'll start over here, and we can look the wall over here. I have a big poster that I had made. St. Peter's and Paul's Church down North Beach. Telegraph Hill, of course you can't see it, but it's in the background behind me. You got Washington Square over there, and we kind of come over here. We've got the copy of the Palace Theater that we all went to see movies at. Liguria Bakery, make the best fagazza in town. They're still there. And then I made even a little copy of my dad's Iron Pot. That was his restaurant down in the financial district for many years. So I kind of wanted to get the flavor of the hills and us walking up and down Leavenworth and all the other hills that we had to go up and down. Chinatown. Right on the border of North Beach. And, you know, when it's your world, you kind of make it how you want it. And name some buildings after even your son. Friends Hotels. Daughters. And places where we worked. That way when I look back and reminisce, hey, TikTok burgers. Remember that? We have our engine house over here where they're working on various types of engines. I mean, this is a mismatch here, you know, different era, different engines. You would have seen the diesels would have come out in the 60s, and of course the steam engines were out way before that. And they're kind of like blended in because I like all of them. I like all kinds of trains, old and new and whatnot. We have our control house. Here, let's see. Yard master, making sure that the trains get switched correctly. We don't have any problems. And then over in this little part, kind of playland at the beach kind of theme. A little bit of the zoo out at the ocean. Of course, looks like the animals have taken over. Hey, looks like we got a little softball game going. Water tower. Okay, I guess what I'm going to do now is kind of show you how I can control each section. We can start off with the cable car. And, of course, this is going to do the Powell and Mason. This one is the one that went right in front of where I was growing up in North Beach. Well, you could hear that all day, all night when I was at home there, growing up. It was great. And then over here we have Chinatown in the background. And let me start up that cable car for you. And let's see if I can get to it. And that's gonna be right here. Okay. And that's the Powell and Hyde. Okay, then over here, let's go down to the little train here, Iron Mountain. And it's kind of a working train. There it goes. Today we're kind of lucky. We have the Denver and Rio Grande coming through. and it's pulling a couple of Virginia and trucking cars. All right. So, this is what I like to do. We also have sound. Give it a little sound here. What do we got here? How about a whistle? Here it goes. So it can get pretty loud in here. Depends what I've got going. Music will be starting up at the Black Hill pretty soon. I can turn that on too. I got live tape in there. And just pass the time. My world, my little make-believe world goes around me. Here's my little train archive. I like keeping books and everything about the railway. On this one wall over here, I have some pictures, trains, various things. Of course, the Cliff House, which I understand is closing for good here in 2020. And then over here in the display glass, I have some dishes and various artifacts that you would find back in the heyday of rail travel, and especially in the dining cars. So in closing, the series on how I built this and why I built it, I'd like to dedicate it to all the kids and grown-ups that I grew up with in North Beach. This really doesn't let me forget. And as I maybe start not remembering as much, I can look around and say, oh yeah, I remember. So kind of crazy, kind of goofy, but that's how I want to remember this. I hope you enjoyed it. And I give a shout out to all my boys. Thank you.